Mr. Secretary Ross, today's hearing is an opportunity for us to hear from you directly about the steel and aluminum tariffs that are scheduled to go into effect tomorrow and details about the processes for exclusions and exemptions that are still ongoing. We know that the steel and aluminum industries in the United States have been struggling for many years. We also know that the situation is the direct result in many instances of unfair practices from trading partners. China has been the most flagrant bad actor. Many of their steel and aluminum companies are really just extensions of the Chinese government that benefit from massive government subsidies. In 2000, China's steel capacity was just over 100 million tons, roughly the same as the United States. Today, it is 1.2 billion tons, more than 10 times as high as U.S. capacity and more than the total capacity of the United States, European Union, Japan, and Russia combined. Chinese industrial policies have led to massive amounts of overcapacity in both steel and aluminum industries. Global markets have been flooded, and the price of both commodities has dropped so low that firms playing by the rules can hardly compete. The situation has put our workers and firms in an unsustainable position. They deserve strong action and support from our government. In response to these issues, the administration has announced that it will impose a 25% tariff on steel imports and a 10% import on aluminum products. These tariffs are set to take effect tomorrow. I understand why our steel and aluminum producers and workers are excited about the tariffs. The tariffs represent relief that they've been waiting for in some instances for years. We hope that it will allow them to rebuild, restart, and indeed rehire. I'm also concerned, however, that the relief promised by the tariffs will be watered down to the point of not being effective. And I'm concerned that the way this action was rolled out will discourage cooperation from international partners that we need in the fight over China's capacities. We have a lot of questions as to how the administration will proceed in coming weeks and months. We posed many of them to Ambassador Lighthizer yesterday, and we understand that you and your department have a different role in these investigations and in the administration of the exemption and exclusion processes. We are particularly interested in when the country exemptions and product exclusion decisions will be made and when and where and how they will become effective. How, once exemptions and exclusions are applied, we want to know how the tariffs will be able to provide the promised relief and whether the tariff levels will be adjusted upward to account for exemptions and exclusions. We'd also like to know what the administration's plan is for monitoring whether the tariffs are working and how the administration would modify the relief to adjust for real-world effects. We also would like to have you focus on what the administration's vision is for how the steel and aluminum tariffs will contribute to a multilateral, coordinated strategy for counteracting the global overcapacity crisis, and certainly how long the administration envisions these tariffs would need to be in place to address the national security threat that your department has found. I hope you can provide, Mr. Secretary, clarity on these issues over the course of the hearing this morning. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.